never been like super partial to having to identify my drone if I wanted to fly it. Never. I never liked the idea of remote ID or any of these things because, like, listen, I'm responsible. If I fly my drone, I just want to fly my drone. I don't want to go through all the other secondary, plane registrations and things like that. I don't want to do any of those things at all. But now, I don't know. I think my idea of that has changed, guys. Specifically with what's been going on basically in New Jersey, that for some reason is completely inexplicable. Right? Yeah, I think we may need to. I think we should all just accept the concept of being tracked whenever you fly your drone, in this instance at least. Because we have now moved from open borders to open sky, guys. Seems like the U.S. government has no idea what is even flying above us. What do you mean by that? Right? I mean, in my head, it frustrates me a little bit. Okay, but all right. Name of the video is Drone Expert Issues a Chilling Warning on the U.S.'s Inability to Counter Emerging Threats. Oh, no. Let's do it, guys.
Let's bring in Brett Velikovich.
This is a suggestion via Discord, guys.
He's a former special operations intelligence analyst and a drone expert. So my dad reached out to me yesterday because we go to Jersey on the weekends, Ocean County, and he said, "What is going on?" I said, "I'm going to ask Brett in the morning." So here, Brett, tell my dad, what do you think is going on?
Oh my God, it's difficult to say. It's all speculation at this point. Even the U.S. military research facility at Picatinny Arsenal just admitted that the drones are not theirs. So that's added to the confusion even more. And I've said it before, I've tested a ton of drones over U.S. government installations in partnership with the military before. And that type of secrecy is just not normal for how we would conduct business. Even if we don't explain to the locals what exactly we're doing and testing drones and why, there would still be a lot of coordination of those flights at all levels of law enforcement. And if anything got out of hand, for example, public hysteria like this operation, we would shut it down immediately. But it's not stopping. And now we're even hearing more reports of drones flying over Philly now. But frankly,
Okay.
Dana, I don't even care at this point if it's some big U.S. government conspiracy or if this is in fact adversarial drones flying. I'm more concerned about the lack of transparency on behalf of our federal government and their inability to even want to alleviate the public's concerns at all. All they're saying is it's being investigated. That's unacceptable. And these local government officials, they need to stop saying there is no known threat unless they really know that. It's a disservice to the American people who are rightfully concerned.
It's a bait and switch.
I know firsthand the damage that drones can do. Even if the drones fly over a site for just a few minutes, do a bunch of flips and disappear in the middle of the night, the damage is already done. Most people don't know how much intelligence data can be collected with sensors that are attached to these drones just even in a short flight. But what's even more concerning is I'm realizing more and more that our law enforcement doesn't even know the rules of engagement for monitoring and downing rogue drones over the U.S. The average official couldn't tell you who's even in charge of that. There's too many competing airspaces and different agency equities. And the FAA, frankly, they're in charge of the confusion.
Yes, they
it's
are.
their issue. They've hamstrung our law enforcement agencies, our U.S. drone and counter drone community for years. I mean, look at what just happened recently with the Secret Service, for instance. They didn't even employ basic counter drone technology prior to the Trump assassination attempt, and that's one reason our president took a bullet. And if the Secret Service doesn't have the capability, you think New Jersey Police Department, State Patrol is going to have the proper systems in place to monitor this? So it's just we got to change the whole industry. Our infrastructure is not set up to be able to counter these emerging threats that we face.
No, they're not. But here's the problem. I mean, at the same time, that could be a good and bad thing. Again, because I have a Part 107 drone license, I can legally fly and pilot drones. The main issue here is, I can tell you this right now, you can't really do much about it. You'll have to change the way things. You'll have to change the way things are in a way that just won't make sense, if that makes any sense. I guess it doesn't. I didn't explain it, but here we go. Geofencing has always been something that you could possibly do, all right, for major cities. I think in the city of Atlanta, the entirety of the city is geofenced, meaning that a drone that was not built by a person, keep that in mind here, if you bought a commercial drone, the commercial drone will in fact not allow you to fly anywhere near that area because it's geofenced. The only way to fix that is to geofence your entire city, if that's the case. And that can definitely just be done in software. But the main thing is that I think these larger drones that you're seeing, at least, none of these are like, commercial drones. I think these are made. So these are made by someone or some entity. I think that's probably the reality in this situation. And obviously, those drones don't have to care about geofencing at all because they're not, on the internet, basically. They don't take updates and things like that, guys. But, all right.
Excellent answer.
I'm
Brett,
not sure that made my dad feel any better.
Probably not.
No, it didn't.
Brett, you know about the story several months ago about Chinese operations flying over our military bases in certain parts of the country, especially on the East Coast, and then that word got out. I'm not saying this is what that is. Give a listen. Chad Pergram asking House Speaker Mike Johnson about something else. Watch.
We are concerned about drones and all these new technologies and what it might mean for national security and the safety of the American citizens. So I'm looking forward to the outcome of that hearing, and if we don't get the necessary answers there, we'll dig deeper and go to the classified level.
Any thought these might be dark programs?
Most likely.
I hope not. I don't believe so. But
Yeah. They're not going to tell us anyway.
Going on, so we'll find out.
Go ahead and define a dark program and think about what's happening in Ukraine and think about what some people, even Elon Musk, talking about the future for warfare, should be unmanned and should be done by way of drone. It might be a pretty simple explanation that they're in the development phase and they're doing it in places like New Jersey.
It could be. I mean, dark programs essentially are, what we call red selling, where literally we're just testing our own infrastructure, our own national security. We might be flying drones over a military base to see how they may be able to stop that internally. But overseas, this is not a difficult thing to do. I can take a drone right now, fly it over to China, drop a bunch of drones from it, extend the range. There's a lot of different communications like Starlink that's out there to be able to do this. This, to the drone community, this is very easy to do.
Yeah.
It's not difficult. They don't have to be sitting
crazy
in New Jersey flying these drones if we're speculating that this is a foreign adversary.
And guys, I said this in a video, and a couple of you guys in the comments were like, no, it has to be like line of sight. Bro, just Google drone range test, and you're going to be disgusted with how far you can actually be away from your actual drone that you're radio controlling. I'm telling you, drone range test. They are nowhere near wherever this drone is. And the guy in the last video you guys sent me, a guy said, oh, well, you have to be line of sight. Line of sight if you're trying to remain compliant with the FAA. And if they can't pull the remote ID off of these devices here, then this is obviously some type of black program, obviously. A dark program, guys, okay? And also, which doesn't make any sense here at all, if you're not trying to be compliant with the FAA, why exactly are you even allowing the pilot lights basically to even be on? But why are these not covered to kind of, hide yourself in the night? Because you don't need them, because all the sensors in the world are on these drones. You don't need any of those lights. None of them. It's perfectly seen in the dark. So it's just the weirdest thing in the world when I hear people speak about these things.
We were even seeing the Ukrainians right now.
He knows what he's talking about, though.
Put drones on boats, launch them from boats in the ocean. And that's very interesting to me because that it extends the distance, and we're seeing people are talking about some of these sightings being right there on the coast. But overall, frankly, this is not an unsolvable problem. These drones are not undetectable. This is easy to figure out what's going on if the proper experts were brought in. And that's what upsets me the most. We have the technology to monitor, track, defeat this right now. Every single drone has a unique fingerprint. It's got a unique signature. It transmits some sort of signal, and those signals tell a story. And there are a ton of countermeasures out there put in place that we could use. You could layer tactical, strategic counter-drone radar systems. You can jam the frequencies of the drone. You can hijack a drone midair, take control of it.
You can.
We have the ability even for drones to strike other drones now midair. We have directed energy systems that can fry a drone in the air. But we've got these archaic laws here in the U.S. where the FAA is constantly concerned about these systems affecting commercial airline communications.
Yes, actually.
I get that, but that's a very old school mentality. What's happening overseas right now
Yes and no.
is these foreign countries are light years ahead of U.S. drone technology, and we're set back 10 years behind China and Russia. So it's nothing for China or Russia to send a drone over our airspace very quickly and essentially poke holes in our national security infrastructure. And I think that's what we're seeing. We're seeing our military bases, our sensitive sites being probed. There's a gap right now in the administration, right, where there's this transition. So it's a perfect time to do something. And we just got to get a handle on it. And our infrastructure has got to have a complete overhaul to put money into this. And the FBI just said they only have $500,000 budget for counter drone technology. That's ridiculous. It costs like $200,000-$300,000 for one counter-drone man-portable system, and you need multiple systems.
Well, we'll see.
No, it costs a lot less than that. Okay, I'm just going to be. It costs a lot less than that. Specifically, if you're building it and the government isn't funding it. Let's just say that where a screw doesn't have to cost $10,000. Yeah, bro, it costs a lot less than that. I hear what you're saying, but also at the same time, no, bro, the FAA is not going to change anything. If you shoot down a drone, you go to jail. Okay, because specifically, if it's a licensed operator flying that drone and you shoot it down, they're going to look at it just like you shot down a plane. Okay, that's the reality, I think, in this situation, because there is really not much of a difference here. As soon as that drone gets hit, it's going to drop in from whatever position that it is in, at whatever height that it's in, and now you have a projectile flying towards the ground at a crazy speed. Okay, that's going to wreck things at any time. Right. So this is one of the reasons why you don't fly. Why it's illegal to fly over like large crowds, sporting events, and things like this. Because what if it drops? I hear what you're saying. We need something to kind of figure this out. But in fact, some type of like geofencing will definitely fix that issue, though. Right? It will make it so you can't actually fly drones in a specific area. That's the most important thing, I think, in this specific scenario.
What comes to these two hearings today?
That would stop it, and it's legal.
Yeah, thank you, Brett.
Yeah, terrific.
Hey,
All right, guys. So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at on this. I'm glad that he actually had some intelligence, again, because the other guy had no idea what he was talking about. Yeah, we have old laws, definitely, but you cannot shoot down something that's flying. Not manned or unmanned, not controlled. You can't. Right? But if you geofence the specific area, you can just stop them from flying in the first place. And they definitely should be able to pull off basically the social security number or the remote ID of said drone, guys. But all right, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly. This is my lightsaber. Hey guys, you guys subscribe to the other channels? Logical Movie Reviews with Mr. L. Boyd, along with Mr. L. Boyd Music. Oh, also, Mr. L. Boyd Discusses. Guys, check it out. And if you haven't heard it today, you're amazing.